All right, so it's been a little while since we did an update on what's been going on up here at the little house. We've done a lot since I last updated the video, so I wanted to show you what all's going on. We are up here today basically to kind of organize and clean. The house is pretty much done. We just need to organize and clean, and we're going to be bringing up a lot of my craft type stuff from the house, my soap stuff, all of my like gift box wrapping stuff. That's going to all go up here. So starting tomorrow. So as of today, the goal is just to get this house clean because it's pretty dusty. We haven't been down here and done a lot in a while, so let's just do a quick tour around about what a wreck we have going on down here. Essentially, the house is done, but it's a wreck just because there's a lot that needs to be cleaned up. Overall, we have just about everything in this house that we're gonna do to it. So I am starting over here at the door entry. We're gonna flip you around and show you what's going on. All right, so here's from the door entry. One of the only things that we don't have done in this house is our wood cook stove. And I am going to be putting not just a wood burning stove, it is going to be a wood burning cook stove. So it's gonna have eyes on the top where you can actually cook on it. Now, that's not imperative during the summer, but if you live down here during the wintertime and you keep a little fire going on in it, now that's not gonna be imperative in the summertime, but if you live down here during the wintertime and you keep just a little small fire going in the cook stove, it will essentially heat this whole house. Speaking of heating the whole house, cooling the whole house, since our last update, we have added a mini split to the house. So this is the main unit right in here in the living room, dining room, kitchen area, which is just a big open space. So we have this one vent right here. It heats, it cools. So the temperature in here is really comfortable right now. No humidity other than the fact that Nate opened the window and it's raining outside, so he's letting in some humidity right now. So in each of the bedrooms, and we do need to get an additional light out there. It's pretty dark in this room, but we've got one bulb that blew.
Let me go check the pump house. I think we got light.
All right, so we have a second unit in this room. Now, we still need to get the covers that will hide all of the cords coming down out of the ceiling and make it look nice. But this takes care of this room. And in the bedroom, we also have a unit that takes care of the bedroom. And again, we do need to get the covers to cover up the cords so it looks nice. The bedroom we haven't done a lot with since we put it together, so mainly just probably some dusting, sweeping and mopping in here. We do have the 2 wardrobes, and I do need to get my dad to adjust the doors, especially on that back wardrobe, so that it sits a little bit nicer. But my goal is to bring some plants down here and put on this little plant shelf. I have a lot of little aloe plants that I'll probably add to this room. So the main disaster is all out in here. So we do have a kitchen island over here. That is not where it's gonna go. That's just where it's sitting right now. So we've got to get things swept, mopped, cleaned up, move that around. This picture that's on the back of the stove, we did have it hanging over this electrical box. I think we need to redo one of the screws so it sits evenly, but it looks nice once it's hung up. And I think here in the kitchen, I did notice that think I can order a cover for this outlet that will match our tile a little bit better. So we'll be looking into that. I still need to probably really scrub this sink out. And or if I'm not pleased with how it cleans up, I may replace this sink and have a really nice sink put in. I think we used it. I think we used it. Okay. So you've got a ladder so you can replace that one light bulb. All right. So just a lot of work around here on cleaning and organizing. One of the things I also wanted to point out, this particular room is going to be my craft room. So all of my stuff from the house will come down and be put in this room, and this is where I'm going to work out of.
Don't do this with the ladder.
Oops. I do have this deep freeze in here that we use just to kind of maintain everything that we can't fit at the house. You can probably scoot it back a little bit to make a little bit more room. This room's really going to transform once we get all of my stuff down here. All right, I'm gonna help him change a light bulb. Give me just a second.
Don't hurt yourself up there.
Well, first of all, this screw is about to come out of the wall. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's making it fall. And I'm not sure they're completely lined up. I feel like it's sitting unlevel.
It looks good.
Okay.
Seriously, yeah, it looks
It
good.
just gets taken down too often.
Yeah.
With having to access that box.
Hey, Max. Do we need any flour or sugar at the house? Got these bags of all flour. Yeah, it's all purpose and self-rising.
We might need some all-purpose.
They won't bag. Well, I guess you probably shouldn't mess with that when it's raining.
Yeah.
What did you say about vacuuming and mopping?
I don't think we're gonna get to that today.
Yeah, I think you should let me get all that stuff out of the house before because I'm gonna be tracking in mud.
Better not be tracking in mud.
Well, it's kind of unavoidable. It's muddy outside. And I gotta carry all that stuff in and out from the house, all your soap stuff.
Don't do it when it's raining.
I don't think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I could be wrong. No, 90% chance of rain. Maybe it won't be. So the bad thing about this particular house is that it
does not have central air. So it does have the mini split for climate control. That being said, it really doesn't have air circulation with a filter to keep the air clean. So everything tends to get really dusty. I do have a little portable air filter, but I probably need one per room. So I have one in the back bedroom. I'll look into getting a couple more. And the filters on those do get really dirty pretty quickly. So they do have to be changed out pretty quickly. This whole thing really needs to be dusted really well. So I'm gonna get down to the nitty-gritty of that. So it is coming down outside, downpours. I'm glad I got outside and fed all the animals early today. So what I'm going to be doing over here is just basically a good dusting of this furniture. It's kind of set up here after it was put together, not really cleaned up. So I just want to get it basically dusted off, looking nice. I'm not going to worry about vacuuming or mopping anything in here in the house until I get everything pretty well cleaned up. Basically dusted and washed down so that I'm in a good position to actually sweep and mop or vacuum and mop. The cool thing about this island is that these legs retract back in and you can let this down if you don't need all of the space with regard to the bar. This particular chair here came with backwards parts. I contacted Overstock and they sent out supposed replacement pieces for it, but it was the wrong stuff that they sent out. So I just let it go and it is what it is. They look a little wonky, but I'm not gonna fight about it anymore. So this house, the plan with it obviously is to house all of my craft type stuff. Soaps, canning stuff, cosmetic supplies, gift boxes, that kind of stuff. Woolworking from my baby doll sheet, although I'm not planning on keeping my baby doll sheet much longer, but I do have a lot of wool that still I could process. So I just have way too many hobbies for the amount of time I have, but that's the plan with this house. So my brother actually put this cabinet together for me. I kept saying that I was gonna do it, and I kept running out of time and never getting it done. So it sat down here in a box forever until he finally put it together. Now the other purpose that we're planning on using this house for is when my oldest daughter, Evangeline, goes to college. She's planning on living down here, which is an ideal situation. She'll be close enough for us to keep an eye on her, but she'll still have her freedom. I lived here in this house when I was going to college, so kind of a cool turnaround of events. This house was definitely not as nice when I went to college and lived here. We've definitely done a lot to fix it up and make it really cute. I'm actually super proud of what we did with this house. I really, really wanted to restore it. It has a lot of sentimental value to me. So making it look beautiful has been very fulfilling for me. All right, so this whole thing has been dusted down. I think we're good on it. The other thing that I do want to work on right over here is these cabinets. They're painted with a satin paint, but I want to just kind of dust over them. Like I said, everything in this house tends to get kind of dusty, so I've definitely got to order some more air filters for the house so that we don't have that issue. Something that we can run at least a few hours every day to keep the dust down. On these cabinets, these are the original cabinets that were in the house. We've just painted them. They were originally white. We've also changed out the hardware on them because the original hardware was just some ugly little white knobs. This house was built basically just with the cheapest possible stuff that you could put in it, just basically so that my dad had a place to get us out of the weather, because we lived in tents for 3 months while he built this little house. And this was originally going to be his shop, so he was trying not to put a lot into it. But ultimately, him and my mom lived in this house for about 7 years before he finally got their house built. So he never wanted to invest a lot of money into this. In his opinion, he was going to turn this into a shop. And this was just a means to get us out of the elements. But it did end up being a house that was never going to be turned into a shop. So I'm really glad that we ended up with it and were able to restore it and make it look beautiful. All right, so let's just get this little table dusted down. This shouldn't be bad. Make it look shiny and nice. Most of the furniture in this house, just like my house that I live in, came from Overstock. I do love me some Overstock. They usually have pretty good quality furniture. Most of their furniture actually comes from Vietnam as opposed to China. And I like that because Vietnam tends to make pretty good quality furniture. you haven't noticed, I like green. One of my favorite colors, green, teal, that kind of stuff. Pardon my husband in the background, he's making a lot of noise sweeping. It's okay, continue sweeping. So we're just gonna get these chairs dusted down, nothing fancy, nothing exciting. I'm just trying to mainly dust so we can sweep, mop, get everything cleaned up and in order in this house. Because the next step is getting all of my stuff out of the house that we live in, getting it down here where we can actually build a real pantry for me at the house where I can store all of my canned goods instead of storing them in my dining room all over the place. And we want this house to look nice, so if we ever have out-of-town company, we can always throw them down here if we don't have room in the house. I just want this house to look super nice, and like I said, eventually Evie will be living down here when she goes to college. Close to home, easy to supervise, it's a win-win. But compared to that first video that we made down here at the little house, right before we started just redoing it, I think we had pulled the floors out at the point that we did our first video. This place has come a long way. The original flooring that was in this house was like industrial tile that you might see out of like a Stephen King hospital horror scene.
That was pretty bad.
That's what it reminded me of. Like totally you're coming around a corner in a hospital, some lights are flashing, people know things are not going well, and you've got this old, I don't know, flooring that looks like it was put in by the nuns. So getting that ripped out of here and putting in pretty flooring was one of the first steps. Actually, one of the first steps was putting a new roof on the house because the roof was leaking a little bit. The original roof that was put on this house was scrap tin that my dad got super cheap. It was mismatched in color, but unless you were flying a plane over the house, you didn't know that the tin was mismatched in color on the top of the house. But ultimately, after about 20-something years, it had worn out because it was already scrap tin. And it needed to be replaced. So we put a brand new roof on this place. That was really our starting point of restoring this house. Throughout the years, this house has been used really to bless a lot of people. So after my parents moved out, it wasn't that long after it that I moved back in here while I was in college. And then after I moved out and bought my own house, my aunt and uncle moved in here. My uncle got really sick during the time that they lived here and did ultimately die in this back bedroom.
Which bedroom? This one?
This one. So, my aunt lived here for quite a few years thereafter and ultimately remarried and just moved out in the last couple of years. When she moved out, that is when we started the process of restoring the house. Because it officially became ours. Up until that point, although it technically was ours, we would have never made her go anywhere. So we waited until she didn't want to live here anymore. And at that point, we began our restoration process. And it's honestly been a very slow process. When did we start this, Nate?
2 years. I mean, we got a lot done, like with the paint, the windows, they did a lot. Like,
That was the other thing. So we had the flooring done. We had a restoration crew came in that put in new windows. They painted, they put in new lights, new trim. And that's kind of where we started. And then we had another group come in. And originally I had thought about replacing the cabinets, but ultimately I just decided to paint them and keep the same cabinets that were here from the original house. I go back to eventually, may I replace the cabinets? I might, just because these are, they're not exactly what I want, but painting them kind of made them, they kind of made them fit in really well. Yeah, there's a couple of spots that we need. Yeah, there's a couple of spots that need to touch up. We didn't have true professionals paint them.
They got covered.
But anyway, so cabinets are what they are. We did change out the hardware and that helped. All right, so that's the dusting on this furniture. I need to dust our TV stand and coffee table. You know what we need here? We need like a little bouquet of flowers to go there to make it look pretty. All right, so I'm gonna just do a quick dust on this, not excessive, mainly just to get the biggest, dustiest stuff off of this, because it's definitely got a layer of dust on the top of it. Hey Nate,
Yep.
on that air filter thing back there, those filters probably need to be changed out. I'm not certain whether or not they can be washed, but it did come with extra filters. I just don't know where I put the extra filters. So I have a little space right here in the corner. I'm thinking about getting like some sort of plant rack to go there. I think that would be nice. I raise aloe plants, and aloe plants don't need a lot of
This is clean.
full light.
It's not bad.
Hold on, let me see it for you. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, okay.
I thought we had a lot more dirt.
But I ordered more. Not exactly sure where I put it. So if you can look around and see where I might put those, that's gonna be important. I know I did order replacements for that.
I think once with that mini split in here, it keeps all the dust down.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, that filter.
There's a filter on the mini split?
No, I'm saying with that being pond control.
Yeah, but, I bought extra filters for that thing.
You know where we put it?
That's why I'm asking you to look, to see if you can find where I put them. I'm bad about getting stuff and not remembering where I put it. But I know I ordered extra filters for that, for replacements. Because it doesn't last forever. Probably. If it's not on the shelf in there.
It's not on the shelf. Yeah, they're back here.
Okay. Just as long as we know where they are so we can replace them as needed.
You know you got these oil lamps back here, right?
I've got what?
Oil lamps, kerosene lamps.
Do I now?
Yeah, that look good. You out there on the coffee table.
Well, I don't want something that's gonna
Right
get
here.
broken.
You got two of those. You want a back and clock or you want a
We need to set them out somewhere. I just don't think that this is the place for them. Maybe you can put them on top of the shelf in the other room. I always like to have oil lamps in the house in case the power goes out. All right, I forgot I ordered these little hurricane lamps for up here. And I ordered just some little kerosene lamps for up here. So we're gonna get these organized on where I want them to go. These things are awesome. I love these. I have some at the house. Great if the power goes out. Technically kerosene lamps, but you can buy the non-kerosene lamp oil that burns really clean, and that's usually what I use in these. So we're gonna get these set up around here. These are probably gonna go on the little bar right here in the kitchen. I already have set up over by the TV 2 of the hurricane lamps, and then I'm gonna put these additional 2 probably back here by this window. So just a couple of extra things that I forgot I ordered for the house.
Perfect.
So I did want to show you this little cool space saver that I got to go in between this cabinet and the stove. So there was a little gap here, and this ended up fitting just perfectly. So this pulls out, and you've got space in here to store spices and stuff. So nice little addition right in there that just kind of fits perfectly. All right, so we got 4 cushions on this couch, and I'm gonna order some covers for them. So I'm trying to put like another color in here. Nate thinks I should order black. Black is never a color that I would ever consider for cushion covers. So, you know, my favorite color is green and teal, and so I'm thinking along those lines. Feel free to leave comments on what color cushion covers we should order for these 4 cushions to give us a little bit of transition from the gray on the couch.